The evening sun cast a golden glow over the cozy living room, where Emma sat curled up on her favorite armchair, a steaming mug of tea in hand. The soft crackle of the fireplace was a comforting symphony to her ears, and the scent of vanilla and cinnamon from the candles filled the air with warmth. This was her sanctuary, a place where the worries of the world melted away. As night descended, the wind outside began to howl, a stark contrast to the serenity within. Emma barely noticed, lost in the pages of her book. But then, a faint scratching sound echoed from the attic, so subtle she thought she imagined it. She shrugged it off, attributing it to the old house settling. Hours passed, and the scratching grew more persistent, accompanied by an inexplicable chill that crept through the room. Emma wrapped her shawl tighter, her eyes darting around the once familiar room that now seemed to harbor shadows in every corner. The candles flickered violently as if protesting an unseen presence. The climax seemed imminent when suddenly the noises ceased. The warmth returned, and Emma let out a sigh of relief, convincing herself it was just the storm outside causing her unease. She settled back into her chair, the comfort of her book calling her back. But then, as she turned the page, her blood ran cold. There in the margin of the book was a message written in a hurried scrawl. "Don't ignore the signs." Emma's heart pounded as she realized the book was a gift from her grandmother, who had passed away years ago. The message was in her handwriting. The room spun as Emma tried to process the impossible. She stood up, her eyes now wide with terror, scanning the room for any rational explanation. That's when she saw it, a figure, barely discernible, standing in the reflection of the window. It wasn't her own. Her sanctuary had become a trap, the ordinary turned sinister. The true horror was not the ghostly figure or the eerie sounds. It was the realization that the veil between her world and the one beyond had been lifted, and she was not alone. Emma's story would be whispered in hushed tones, a chilling reminder of the thin line between the living and the spectral, a tale that would leave readers questioning the safety of their own homes.